Okay, here we have a 1971 Hotline Speedchief. This particular one actually hasn't been used and was sealed in a box with a set, and as you can see it's suffered from battery leakage. The power cell inside has been leaking for 40 years. Got some strange things going on here on the plastic on the front windshield, and all the chrome. It's not too bad, most of the chrome has been just about survived, but what it should really look like is one of these. This one has been restored by Mike Grove. You see it's got nice shiny turbines, some nice decals on the side, and this one actually runs, whereas this one, which is mint and unused, is not going anywhere. So today I'm going to show you how to actually open one of these up, which I have done before. I remember trying to open one of these up when my original one died about 1975, and I could never open it. And the reason why is because the Hotline Speedchiefs are actually sealed shut with these, you can see them here, 2 metal pins. I'll just show you what they look like when you take them out. They're just, if you can see that, they've got a slight twist on them. So what we need to do first is to remove these pins. The heads of the pins are actually flush with the base of the chassis, so what we need to do is to work around the base of these pins. There's a slight sort of ridge recess here around. What we need to do is just to slowly prise the head of the pin so it eventually becomes slightly proud of the base of the chassis, so that we can grab hold of it, one of these, and pull it out. So let's start to have a go at this. This is going to take some time. It may be worth just showing actually the underneath of this one, which has been opened up. As you see, you've got some holes here where the pin used to be. This is going to take a while. I seem to remember when I did this, it took me quite some time. So I'm probably just going to let this run for a little bit and then stop it, and I'll show you. You may notice I'm actually wearing these rather fetching plastic gloves. Well, this is because the battery has been leaking and has left a sort of strange sticky deposit around on the body of the train, and when you've been handling it for a while it can get a bit gooey. Anyway, I'm going to have a little work around this for a while, and I'll cut back in a few minutes. Okay, so I've been working at this for a few minutes, and you can see now that I've managed to. It's unfortunate, but there's no way you can do this, or I've not found a way of doing this without having to chew around the base of this pin here to get it out. I mean, Mike Grove, the expert, the guru, also made pretty much of a mess of the underside of this one. Yeah, and so they're not easy to get out, but they are. So now we've managed to get the head of this pin up enough so I can grab hold and pull it out with these grippers. Well, there's one. I've got one more to go. This one's actually been a lot easier than the other one was. The other one was a bit tough. Anyway, let's just take this one out. final extraction. Okay, now we're just going to take off the rear wheels. There's a little slot under here. Put the screwdriver in there. Rear wheel assembly. Now the final thing we have to do, just need to prise. The plastic on these is fairly soft, so there is a bit of give in it. So basically what we need to do is a couple of pins here at the back. Just need to pry it, put a small screwdriver down here in the two slots and just ease these pins out. And at the same time keeping an eye on this coupling hook, because if this will fall out as I open it, and it falls out on the floor, you'll never see it again. Believe me, it's happened to me before. So let's just pop this open now. Yeah, just grab that hook. Oh, that one didn't fall out this time. That's the first time that's happened. Let's have a look inside here. Well, actually this doesn't look too bad. The last one opened up, it was a bit like a Christmas Winterland inside with all the corrosion. But this one is pretty clean. So this is the this is quite interesting, I've never seen this before. The rear coupling hook here has got like a little piece on the back to stop it from falling out. I've always seen something new when you open these things up. Maybe they obviously lost too many of these little hooks at the back. Anyway, let's get this power cell out. I think it's, after 40 years cooking in here, it's pretty well done now. So the next thing we have to do is to remove this assembly here in order to be able to clean this up properly. Yeah, it's pretty clean in here actually. I'm quite surprised how good that is. Right, in order to get this out, depending on which type this one is, there's two types of the interior of these trains, and depending on which one we've got here, I think we've got the second type, which actually means we don't have to take the motor out. Let's have a look. That's coming out quite easily. Just a sneaky little piece of wire here, just sort of wrapped around there. Oh, that bit. So this is the terminal block. This is the controller. Someone's left a hair in here. Probably from the person who originally put it together. Well, this is the one that we've just opened up with the terminal block removed, and this is one of the, possibly one of the easier types. There's two types of interior on these Hotline trains, and I thought it might be worth showing you another one, which is a restored one, which has the second type of interior. Well, on this one we have to take the motor out first, and I'll just dismantle this one. Let me just get the back wheels of this to make it a little bit easier. These ones are a little bit fiddly, but basically we have to just pull the motor forward and then just to release it, and then just get down between this terminal block and the chassis just to release the block, and the whole thing should come out. There we go. Now hopefully you can see the difference. If I get this lined up with the camera. Right, so this is the one we just opened up with the motor connected to these contacts here, where this one there are no contacts. Well, as you see, the motor, if I just show you this assembly, if you can see this, the motor is connected to the actual controller that controls the train. And there's this little, the biggest difference apart from that is this little hairspring. I don't know if you can see, there's a hairspring that runs underneath the controller to keep it in place. Well, I'll actually take this apart for you. You need to take the hairspring out. You push these little prongs that we probably just remember. I just pull these out. Pull this spring out. There it is. There's the spring. And the controller connected to the motor. So this is the slightly trickier type if you find you've got this one. And one thing to just keep an eye on if you do find one of these is when you're cleaning, to make sure you clean these contacts here. In fact, I regularly, when I'm running these trains, have to take them apart to clean them. They seem to get a lot of gunge on them, so that the contacts can make a clean contact. Let's see this the right way around. Like that. So this is, the terminal block is effectively the same, it's just that the motor here is connected to the controller, whereas here the controller is kind of loose and floating. I think this possibly is a later one. Maybe they had a lot of trouble because this spring here that holds the controller against the contacts is a bit iffy, it has to be said. Maybe this was just maybe cheaper and easier to assemble in the factory. Anyway, let's coming back to the one we took apart. This is the, where is it? There we are. This is the terminal block that we need to clean. So hopefully when we clean it, it'll end up looking a bit like this one. But in order to do this, we have to take this part into the lab.